Uh, Good afternoon, everyone, on the dais this side and in the audience, friends. Well, I'm here after my engineering sometime way back in 1971. Been with the industry for close to 4 decades. And I don't know, somehow got into academics for the last 8 years, trying to teach students of MBA. And all through, I've been a proponent of one thing. So we have been talking about waste. I'm thankful to Professor Bhide, who didn't introduce me as a waste professor, okay? But back in my college, they called me that, okay, while introducing. Hello, friends. Basic belief is that, instead of creating waste and then breaking our heads to handle it or what to do with it, my personal approach has always been that try not to generate waste in the first place by better yield of your natural resources. And I would like to start this with a little small clip to prove 2 points. One is that I was not born bald like what I am now. And second thing is, I'm also not talking to you something that happened yesterday or day before, but how it has been going over a period of time. So here we go, 1991, Chari. How do you do this? Okay. I say it, okay. It says invalued value for registry. Who can help me out here? Someone?
The film?
Yeah. Even the volume, yeah.
Which one?
This one.
This one's not playing.
Okay. While they're trying to sort it out, friends, I just remember, way back, I stay in Hyderabad. Of course, now I'm in Delhi. And in 86, when we moved out first time to Hyderabad, there used to be acute shortage of electricity and water supply. And unfortunately, I got my flat on the 7th floor, that was top floor. And on 3 consecutive days, there was no power, no water supply. And we were forced to go down to the ground floor, where a tanker was supplying water. And first time in my life, I realized how difficult it is to earn your water. When you have to carry 2 buckets of water all the way 7 floors, that was the day I realized with how much little water one can survive. And then I started thinking about all those, the sponge baths and whatever you could do. You can imagine 4 of us with 2 children, managing the entire day with 2 buckets of water, and I was still happy. And that was the day in 86 until today. I always say, please charge for the natural resources, then only I will realize how difficult or how costly it is. So I stand by that. Oh, it's done. Now, I'll take you back to that, where I say
the primary and secondary functions
volume
can be very easily explained and well understood by considering very small, simple and day-to-day products. For example, if we take up a product like the toothbrush, all of us use it, isn't it? But how many of us have realized that it is the bristles of this toothbrush which perform the primary function of cleaning the teeth, and the handle of the toothbrush performs only the secondary function of ease of operation of the bristles. But on a detailed analysis, it will be seen that the handle alone costs me anywhere between 50 to 60% of the total cost of the toothbrush. All the value analysis efforts should be concentrated on trying to redesign the handle. Some of the options that are possible for us might be an alternative like this. When the bristles have outlived their life, all I have to do is take out the bristles, throw them off, while still retaining 50 to 60% of the cost of the toothbrush with us, take up a new set of bristles, engage them, start using it again. Or alternatively, how about a design like this? I have a handle with me, separate from the bristles, use the bristles to the extent of their life, throw the bristle alone at the end of the life, pick up a new bristles, and again start brushing back. Or as a third option, maybe, how about this? Maybe you can use it like this, much more convenient, much more flexible. Would you like it? The same analysis.
Well, that was just a part of something. Now, if you look into the dimension of this small thing, friends, with the world population at about 7 billion, even if I assume that only 20% of us use toothbrushes across the world, and also assume that twice in a year we discard these handles, I'm still talking about 2.8 billion plastic pieces being thrown across the world. And then we start wondering about what do I do with this plastic. Start from the design stage itself, everywhere it works, friends. And I'll try to take you through 2 or 3 things, but much before that. Okay, when I look into particularly, I'm talking I every time, friends, because I'm a firm believer in that. Whatever waste, I always think about the great Raddiwala that used to come to our house every Sunday. Raddi bej do. And my mom was always keeping her ears there, pick up whatever she thought was waste. And this is a guy who is paying you 5 rupees for this, 8 rupees for that, 12 rupees for that, because perhaps he knew the value of that and we didn't know. So one thing is about ignorance of the usefulness of whatever waste we are talking about. Second thing is, every waste has come from some base raw material, let us not forget that, in a different form. So most of the time we are ignorant of the characteristics of that waste, what is in it. If only I have the curiosity to find out what is in it, if I know what is in it, I can start finding out how to use it, because it has a strength. Ignorance of the strengths and positives of the waste, and we always normally tend to look into the negatives. Treat it as a misplaced resource, and always I say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, how you look at it. And a little anecdote here, friends, when I started working on rice husk ash way back in the early 2000, I tried to take a sample from this place where they were burning rice husk. So he naturally asked me, he says, क्या ले जा रहे हो? मैं कहा राख. बोले राख? राख कोई ले जाने की चीज़ है? अच्छा नो, बचपन में मम्मी की मदद करते थे बर्तन मांजने में, आजकल मिलती नहीं है. Let me show it to her that mom, राख is still available. Anyway, friends, something happened. I took it, did something. After about 3 months, when I needed a second sample, when I reached back same, and this guy, Mr. Toshniwal, the owner of that, says, राख फिर से? I said, yes, फिर से. He said, क्या है ये? He said, राख में क्या है? I said, look, Mr. Toshniwal, look at yourself, talk it before the mirror, and then see your facial expressions. He said, राख. We said, gone for you. He said, yes, it's a waste anyway. I said, no, when I look at राख, I said, wow, राख, लाओ, दे दो. I took it, sent it for chemical analysis, and this friend of mine, because I couldn't afford those heavy prices for testing, he helped me. He said, Chari, last time in the life, I'm going to test your material because every time you are bringing kachra to me. I said, okay, no problem. Please do that. He takes the sample, and next day afternoon, about 3 o'clock, I get a call from him, say, Chari, aur milega? I said, what is this? Yesterday you said kachra, and today you say, aur milega? Your expressions have changed. He said, the way you are saying, there must be something good. I said, what is so good? And first time in my life, when he told me, he said, Chari, the best source of amorphous reactive silica I found in my life, it has 92% amorphous reactive silica in that, rock, rice husk. And I said, 92% of anything is good for me. Even if somebody is a 92% gunda, that means he is a pakka gunda. Good. That is his strength. Let me start using it. And well, once I knew it was silica, friends, lot many things happened. No time. Bida ma'am is not giving me much time. we'll talk about the herbivores, the carnivores, and the saprophagus, Mother Nature. There are plants and animals living on plants and animals living on animals, and somebody living on dead animals. And I'm looking for the saprophagus society, where the waste of one industry becomes the food for the other industry. Very simple logic. Okay, just indicators. We hate the flies, but well, they do a lot of help to us maintaining the ecology. I'll not go through this, not through this. The unsung heroes, you throw something and they poor thing pick it up entire day and make maybe some 4, 5, 6, 8 or 10 rupees in the end of the day. However, they are all traits in the areas of scrap or waste, which are already known to have value for recycling, so they pick it up. But what about the sabji mandi waste? Tons and tons and tons in every mandi that we get every day, stinking around, facing it, but nobody does. There are stray examples across the country where successfully things have been done, but what is required is replication. If somebody has done something good in Chennai, why can't I do it in Mumbai and in Delhi and in Calcutta? Just replicate it. Technology is established. You don't have to do much of rocket sciencing. The ash, because it is treated as ash, spread wherever you want, throw wherever you want. The polythene plastics, the broken potteries, the stone industry dust, tons of flowers near temples and rivers and streams. If only I get some good chemistry friend, I'd like to say, hey, how about fractional distillation here? Find out, maybe you can, bring out so many essences out of all these flowers that will help cleaning the river on one side, making money on the other side. Put brains together. Deepavali crackers burnt out, a lot of paper around. Sludges from various treatment plants across the country. Everything is treated as waste. If only we look back into the strengths and analytical, the characteristics of that, we can find out waste. And many other spent washes, chemicals, etc. Now friends, it's time to find out productive value-added use of these bulk wastes. Definitely needs R&D. Can these be CSR activities of the organizations? Why not? Work is already going on. It's not that it's only talk. Let's see. This is actually a framework that I tried, but for want of time, I am not going into details of this. Look into stone slabs cutting. You make beautiful tiles, sell it to the real estate builders, make a beautiful building. But what is left over back is this. The dust strewn all around the stone cutting industry place. The industry is in 2 acres of land, but nearby 15 acres of land, they just throw it. Nobody knows. But if you have a curious look at it, try to find out what is in it. You could develop beautiful heat insulation material with stone dust. The rice husk. With India's production of about 100 million tons annual paddy, taking an overall average of about 22% of that as coming as rice husk, and when you burn rice husk, thinking about 25% of that coming as ash, and now I'm talking about the 92% amorphous reactive silica in 5.5 million tons of ash generated annually in the country. Now what do I do? Silica. Silica is sand for me. So he said, go ahead, do something with it. Try it out. And it turns out without the aid of natural sand, which is a big problem now, availability, here I am having a resource offering you a regenerative, annually regenerated 5.5 million tons equivalent of natural sand to you. Okay? And beautiful plastering it takes. You don't have to add anything. Just try it out and see the smoothness. Now can somebody respond what this could be? It is already there written. Curious people like me spend some time, make friends with the industry or with the laboratories, say, hey, I want to do something here. Do you have this? He said, I have a muffled furnace. I said, can you put it there? Can you heat it up to 1200 degrees centigrade? And what comes out is this supervised, looks like basmati rice cooked or murmura or bloi. but it is one of the purest forms of ash that Chari could develop. 96% pure amorphous reactive silica. Now, having done that, what do? Again, get back to friends in the industry, R&D. He said, hey guy, I have 96% purity reactive amorphous silica. What can you do? He said, okay, Chari, give it, let me test. Comes back. He said, you have given me 96%, but if you can give it 99.99% purity, Chari, this is a good material, good case for silicon chips. Now, can you imagine coming from ash, only curiosity, consistent work in the field, talk to people, there are knowledgeable people. I must repeat one thing that comes to mind, friends, is I don't know who wrote it, but I'm always, a lover of this. It says, the deeper I tried to dive into the ocean of knowledge, the shallower I found myself. And every time I'm talking to people, suddenly at the end of the day, I say, Chari, you don't know even this. You thought you knew everything. So every time you're talking to somebody, it brings you down anyway. And it's good to know that how little you know about things, how little I know about things. Ma'am, please give me 2 minutes advance notice whenever you want me to stop. It's already given. Now, this is the coffee fluff that we throw after filter coffee. Right there, our friends are also making. Turns out to be a beautiful fuel with 4,500 kilocalories per kilogram of thermal value and with less than 2% ash content in that. But it doesn't stop here. You can go beyond. And from the same coffee fluff, you convert it and you can make activated carbon that is later used for filtration of your water or air system. So you are adding value to that, value to some waste. Again, a little curiosity, talking to friends. At finest moment, when somebody all the way from Bombay drives to Greater Noida with two sacks of waste, he says, Prof Chari, I heard, aap kachre mein kaam karte ho. Happiest moment for me. He said, what do you mean? He said, mere paas ye kachra hai, the top left. I said, so what? He said, I'm sitting on 300 tons of that and paying 1 lakh rupees per month as rental for the godown. I just stop paying that, yaar, if that is the problem. Why do you stock it? Throw it. He said, I can't throw it. Because the raw material price was 250,000 per ton, 250 rupees per kg, the flexible packing. All that we see on these Bisleri wrappers, that material. So he said, I know there is value, but I don't know what to do. So start working back. After all, plastic and charcoal have come from same crude, great-grandsons of the same great-grandfather. There must be some DNA matching. Try to mix two of them, and see it's a beautifully blended into charcoal. Replaces almost up to 30% in my experiments. It can be a beautiful road construction blending material too. Then you think about a friend in Ahmedabad and make him a request, sir, I know you make plywood, you have the right kind of machine. Now, instead of plywood, if I send you this material, can you do the same process, convert it and give me? And he gives me a beautiful slab. And I was the happiest person morning when I was listening to Dr. Ashokan. Things that I was thinking might work, he is already doing it. Well, on the left, these used to be the Tetra packs of fruities that you drank and threw on the road. But that can be converted into beautiful material like this. You call them roofing sheets, partition sheets, or whatever. And all that, the colorful that you see in the third slide, I can't show you that. They were all the water bottles and their color lids that you were throwing on the road. Beautiful 8 feet by 4 feet planks you make. Make maybe garden furniture with that because it's indestructible. Lifelong it will stay there forever because it is plastic. And well, this is what I normally do. I feel the happiest man when I see a lot of kachra anywhere. I'd start thinking whether I could do something in the direction. Keeps me going all the time, friends. This I am not covering because it belongs to somebody else. And last, I'll finish with 1 minute video. It's okay? Now, with this super fine thing, 5.5 million tons of rice as cash, I was talking, friends. In my campus, I try because I don't have a lab. करके देखते हैं. It gives such a super finish. Taking you fast forward. Okay, and just to close it, and the guy who was painting this, who has been doing this for last 15 years, in his words, बोले सर नॉर्मल प्लास्टर हम जब करते हैं कन्वेंशनल सैंड और सीमेंट के साथ, तो इतनी फिनिश लाने के लिए मुझे 3 बार पेंटिंग करनी पड़ती है, और इसमें एक सिंगल कोट में उतना ही फिनिश आ गया मेरा. I can think about the impact on the lapam and the putties also that we talk can go a long way. All I want is start using it, friends.